And this year, I can see innovation, both MPD, packaging, it's really coming to the forefront. How do you feel, girls, about having, gained this sponsorship and stuff like that? Do you feel enthused now? Do you feel relieved and you can really get your teeth into it? What's your sort of opinions on that?
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting something extra alongside my degree at the end of the day. Like, it's an extra qualification, so an extra step forward. Maybe you can get recognised a bit more.
Yeah, and you're working for the global giant Kerry, the Kerry group, and they have an awful lot of packaging technologists. Now, you don't have a pack tech on your site.
No.
No. So the knowledge you will gain, will actually help the Kerry site. We are now, and I would encourage you, your placement project that you have to do, to definitely use that knowledge for your placement project, and that will then be of value to Kerry and yourself. So it's great. Cathy, what about you?
Such a current topic, so it's like, why not grab it with both hands when you're given opportunities like this? Like, we're still young, and down the line no one can take it away from you. It's whether you use it in the next couple of years, 10 years, you always have it, that sort of way.
Where's your placement this year, Cathy?
NIFCC in Lisburn, Northern
Ireland. What do they do for Shaunagh and Paul, just to explain to them?
So they're in the Northern Ireland Food Chain Certification. So it's like farm quality assurance, bread, tractor, and poultry. So like basically quality assurance for all of those different schemes like cereals and things, and making sure standards are maintained in all of those areas.
Yeah. And would you be prone to travel if you got the opportunity in 2 years' time to go to Nijmegen or Australia or New Zealand? Would you go?
I think the class, that's the other thing, because there is shortages and there is a chance for everywhere. At least you have an interest in it, and then if you ever want to travel, at least with shortages everywhere, you're nearly guaranteed somewhere that you're gonna be. Is a really good option.
It is, yeah. Like your degree in CAFRE, your primary degree that you're doing, can take you anywhere in the world, really, because everybody has to eat, and therefore there has to be food manufacture. So the degree that you're doing primarily will take you anywhere. And then the caveat is that this extra qualification you're doing will take you that bit further, and as well give you a unique edge over other people that are say studying food. There's no other educational establishment in the UK or Ireland currently provide packaging technology as a subject area. So that gives you a real edge over other people. And that's probably one of the reasons why I go back to Matthew, sorry to harp on about him, why he's got in the Nijmegen and Heinz, because Heinz will only take the best of the best. And because of his CAFRE degree and his qualification in packaging, that's got him in to the Heinz 57 Centre. And he's the first person from the north or the south of Ireland to get there. They're attracting talent from all around the world. Kirsty, what about you?
Very, very excited to get started and understand, suppose, why it's needed. Obviously, it's to do with more to the plastic tax and levies coming into the world and factories and food establishments. Also, then how I can make a difference, the education that I'll gain through this diploma, to hopefully put it into practice and be the person that makes a difference. I suppose maybe within Dale Farm, maybe with someone else. But definitely very excited. And again, as Cathy said, the opportunities to go and travel and fill gaps in other countries and maybe get a bit of sun whenever I'm there. But, no, definitely the travel opportunities that are involved with it too.
Yeah, so would you take the opportunity to travel if you get it at the end of CAFRE?
Somewhere sunny, yeah.
Somewhere sunny. Yeah, very good.
I think that I have to say that the day when I sat down and sort of had the 3 or 4 questions that we put to you and stuff like that, I could sense the passion from you. Some of you are beyond your years. You could probably come and present to students at CAFRE at any stage. But the one thing, we talked about Matthew there, I would recruit on attitude alone, because a lot of skills can be taught in the workplace, obviously having the packaging diploma behind you, it's another string to your bow. It will set you apart when you're applying for roles. That'll be an extra tick, you know, on the checklist for the employer. But you see your drive and ambition, and the one word I love is passion. I'm passionate about what I do. I can tell Shaunagh and Ron are passionate about what they do. And that's reflected in the connections we have and the support we have to give back to other people like yourselves. And, you know, I think you should be really, really proud. You maybe don't realise, you know, what potential you actually have. I was very, very impressed by some of your answers and how you articulate it, you know, why you've obviously chosen this route. So embrace that and use it. Use the CAFRE name, use the connections, raise your profile, do all those things that are going to set you apart, because in a competitive industry where there's lots of people, you know, applying for the same jobs, you have to be, what's your USP, your unique selling point? I ask people that, and I will state that on their CVs, and I will say to the client who I'm working with, I'm putting Ron forward because, well, this is his career experience. He's really driven. You know, he has his packaging diploma behind him. You get a real sense of the passion that he has for the food industry. You know, I have to be consultative in my role. So I really need to unearth the talents that you have and to be able to understand what drives you on, what's going to get you out of bed to go and work for Dale Farm or Heinz, wherever it happens to be. And we pride ourselves. I would, you know, I don't have a hesitation holding up my hand to the client and saying, look, I can't get you what you're looking for at this moment in time. Rather than me just put somebody forward for the sake of it, you know, enhance your CVs, update your CVs, you know, prepare yourself in the right way for interviews. Give me a shout if there's anything you think, how would I answer that, Paul? Speak to me. I want to be able to help you because, you know, you hopefully will be decision makers and companies along the way where you might need to help with Vickerstock, and it would be a privilege, you know, to be able to assist you in that way. So become part of the family, part of the network, and part of the connections, and, you know, don't be afraid to sell yourselves.
Yeah, that's important. Can I ask us all the same question, just out of interest? You don't have to record this now, or use it. It's just out of interest. I'll ask you all, Kirsty. What age did you come to Loughry at, and why did you decide to come to Loughry?
I would have been 19, was it, whenever I started in first year in Loughry.
And what school, sorry, did you go to?
I went to Collibackie College.
Okay. So why Loughry then?
To be honest with you, that is where I always wanted to go. Like, I've always enjoyed food. I suppose home economics I really enjoyed in school. So it was down that food lines that I wanted to go, because I did enjoy what I was going to be studying, and because maybe that, like, I picked Loughry always over the likes of going to Coleraine and all the rest, because of the facilities that are at Loughry, you know, that we have the industrial kitchens and, you know, the packaging site, you know, them other universities don't have. So we then have that edge, I suppose, that whenever it comes to getting employment, that you have experience on site within the university by, you know, lecturers and staff that they're with.
Yeah, very good. Hannah, what about you? School-wise, and why You're on silent,
Sorry,
Hannah.
I had me on mute there. Mine's a bit funny one now. I actually thought I wanted to do nursing. I had done health and social care and started my job in the hospital, and then I realised I didn't really want to work there the rest of my life. So my cousin, she works at Loughry, so she told me to go to the open day, and went to the open day, and yeah, as Kirsty said, like the facilities that Loughry have is second to none. Like you wouldn't have that anywhere else. And even just the staff in general, like they do push to, like, you kind of form a close bond with them, like they're there for your best interest, really. So no, definitely Loughry stood out to me for that. And yeah, so far so good.
Good.
I went to the foundation degree and then progressed on to food business.
Very good. How long was foundation degree then, Hannah?
2 years.
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're really committed then to staying on completion, which is great to see.
Yeah,
Really
definitely got this far, so
yeah.
finish it off.
Cathy, what about you?
So I went from 5th year into the ND. So basically, I didn't really want to do straight A levels,
Mhm.
but I knew I wanted to do something. I grew up on a farm, and I was always, interested in like where our food has came from, and wanting to be part of. It's hard to believe, and I think I actually said this in the interview. It's hard to believe like there's people out there who don't know a carrot comes from the ground, milk comes from a cow, and it's like, I grew up knowing that and like knowing that. It also helped, that Lockery was close to me. Like I'm just down, like just outside Dungannon, so I could travel. It was handy at that age. And as the other girls have said, the facilities is second to none. And I think a unit, like a big uni, sort of scared me. And plus I'd done my A level equivalent, and I wanted to do a wee bit different. That's why I went for the business route, more so than the degree of what my ND was. And I couldn't be any happier that I have went down that route, because we're always going to need to eat. Let's just say, like,
So you came to Lockery very young then, really?
Yeah, so I'd have been just turning 17, I think. Yeah, so literally straight after 5th year. So yeah.
After 5th year, and that is a route an awful lot of people would take, Paul, as they join us after 5th year, as an alternative to A levels.
I find it,
and works incredibly well as the coming in from A levels.
I think it was quite interesting for me that Cathy, Kirsty had being at Cullabaccy and stuff like that. When I was at school, which was a long time ago, I would never have, I almost fell into the food industry, as far as recruitment's concerned. I've been a generalist recruiter for a long time. I have really embraced, I love hearing about it now. I always talk about enjoying food, eating it. But now, all the various disciplines and the various remits that I work on has really, really captured my imagination, and maybe if I was 17, 18 years of age, I would really consider that as route. But geographical area, the band, of County Tyrone and County Armagh, etc., around that area, where a lot of the food companies actually are set up. When I'm from Ballymena too, and I wouldn't have known that when I was, back at school.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting that, Kirsty has been able to identify that route, and obviously had that, interest from a young age. I loved hearing it. It was nice hearing a local accent. I could always hear all these different County Tyrone, County Armagh, and maybe in County Monaghan, as well. So I really enjoyed hearing your local accents, I did, Kirsty, when we were interviewing.
Yeah. No, it's good. And the other thing as well is CAFRE's investing heavily for the future, Paul. Our facilities are world class, but we're going to about a year and a half starting to invest heavily in the infrastructure in the college in Cookstown, and starting with building of new halls of residence for the students, and then starting with building a new science centre. So the packaging centre and chemistry and micro are all going to move to new building to develop ourselves even further.
The day we were down with you, Ron, I just couldn't believe it. I'm sure Shaunagh would agree. Some of the things that were going on, and the opportunities that exist for food companies and for the student is just.
That's a good place.
It's amazing. The facilities were incredible when we went out to visit. It was really, really, as you all said, the facilities were brilliant.
Yeah.
I would really look out a place, I think, as a mature student down there.
Oh, well, we'd find you somewhere. Paul. We'll find you a wee course in packaging. It'll be all right.
It really is amazing to see the passion that each of you have for the industry, and how you've always kind of wanted to get into that industry. And I think that as well for us is a real motivator, isn't it, Paul? And the congratulations again on kind of getting the sponsorship with us, and we're delighted to be able to support you in that.
Yeah, and as well, you have 3 great companies. You have 3 great blue chip companies that you're working for in your year's placement. And that will hold you in great stead as well.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
Employment.
Yeah, I'd love to know actually if you want even individually wanted to say where you're currently at, because you can see some of you are in work at the moment.
You're all in work,
yeah, and would love to know who you're working for, and a day, like a typical day. What would you do in a typical day in your current job?
Could you do that? Just a few lines then?
Go for
Go
it,
for
Cathy.
it.
You go first, Cathy.
So I'm in NIFCC in Lisburn, so Northern Ireland Food Chain Certification. So it's your farm quality assurance, your red tractor, your different schemes. So my typical day is I do dairy letters, so I save and send them to creameries. If creameries have any queries, they can come back and I can check up the databases and things. And then we check reports, so reports that come in from the farm, so then inspectors, and then we check the reports, and then we send out the NC letters. And then your afternoon is farmers send in their evidence of their non-conformances, and we either check does it comply or send them out for others and things, and then the whole process starts again, and answering phones in the middle of it too.
Yeah.
Very
All
good.
right.
So wide range.
Only 9 to 5 in that role?
Yeah, 9 to 5.
And 9 to 5 on a Friday?
Yes.
Very good.
Anna?
Sorry, I'm off mute now.
Alright.
So I'm at Kerry Foods. I got through here doing the bursary through Lockery, and then had to do an interview process and a presentation. So yeah, I started here in May, end of May, which is hard to believe. It's
Yeah.
went so fast. And my role is basically mainly dealing with complaints. I'm in the quality department, but I'd be dealing with customer complaints, supplier complaints, and things like that. And then also would be covering our technician, like our micro technician, if she's ever off.
Yeah.
Things like that.
What location is that, and what products are you making?
I'm in Portadown site, so we're all cheese based, and attack a snack and refrigerators.
Very
we
good.
are.
What was the first one? Attack snack?
Yeah.
What's that look like?
You have your 2 wraps, your cheese string, and either pepperoni, ham,
They're
chicken.
delicious.
Very
So
lush.
yeah,
I've had one. They're really good.
they are very popular.
Yeah. Do you get chickeny home?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes can't complain.
Can I give you my address, please, Hannah? Just forward a few on.
Oh, absolutely, no
Um,
problem. Absolutely.
What about you, Kirsty?
Yes, so I'm with Deal Farm in Pennybridge, so that's the milk site. Typical day for me would be so customer complaints, logging them onto like a wee trend data that we can see and identify if there's any trends that happen and investigate them further. And for the other complaints, getting the data gathered up for them too. And then it would be looking at the previous day records for our lab, our laboratory, for the production laboratory, sorry, signing it off, making sure everything was in spec. Then it would be like taking swabs, so listeria swabs, making sure the swabbing schedules are on plan, and setting up end of shelf life trials to make sure that if we put on 7 days shelf life, that it is keeping till it's 7 days shelf life, especially in the summertime, whenever obviously warmer temperatures, and milk doesn't really like warm temperatures, so making sure that they're all verified. Then maybe doing the thing that everybody hates seeing coming to do is audits, GMP audits, and internal audits. But they have to be done. And actually, at the minute, I'm down working. I have been with the company a year previous to my placement. So I was trained as a laboratory technician and worked for a year in that role before I came up to a technical administrator. So at the minute, actually down on the floor doing the production lab, because of staff shortages. So it's actually nice that I suppose some weeks I'll be in the office 5 days, other weeks I'll maybe be in the office 2 days down in the lab covering it for 3 days. So it is nice getting that difference of 4 different roles, I suppose, to see. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's your hours of work?
So the office hours are 8:30 to 5, and then if I'm down in the lab, it's the 12-hour shift, 6 to 6.
6 to 6. Wow, that's dedication. Even on a Friday?
Even on a Friday, even on a Sunday, even on a Saturday.
Weekends, yeah.
A weekend.
We finished, we're half day on a Saturday, 6 till 12, but Sunday's normal 12-hour shift.
Fair play.
Yeah. What about you, Hannah? I didn't ask your hours.
I'm Monday to Friday, so I'm lucky.
What time you finish at today?
I'm at 8 to 4, but again, if you're doing swabs, like you have to come in before production, so you start at 4.
Yeah, so you're doing swabs and micro as well.
Well, yeah.
It's interesting, all the company names there. We've had business with them all, so it just shows you I could name you people on each of your sites there, that I know and stuff like that. And that's what it's about. That's how my network has grown over the past while, because I was generalist before. 3 years with Vickerstock about 2 weeks ago. And again, just the people that I know and people who come and get me advice, and it's all about helping each other at the end of the day. Nobody is ever going to when you say to somebody, can I get your help, you usually want to help you, so
Seems like a very close-knit industry.
Yeah,
everybody's there to support. And
yeah, what I would say is as well, and I think I said it to you at the time, when I introduced ourselves as Vickerstock, we do invest heavily into what we call tomorrow's talent. We feel that's something that we want to give you every opportunity to make the best of where you're studying at, and to take you as far as you can in career. We're very, our strapline would be helping people achieve their aspirations through work, and certainly I see us interacting in years to come. Ron gave us the opportunity, and we very much embrace that side of things. So look, won't be a stranger, reach out to us if you need anything, or comment, whatever. Shaunagh has been great at raising the profile. If you need any tips on how to raise your profile as well, I think Shaunagh would be willing to put something together there for you too. And look, I don't think Ron's ever going to be a stranger to you.
No, but it'd be good as well, Paul, if you'd help with say CVs and things like that. Not now, but sort of towards the end of final year, and maybe even interviewing techniques would be good as well.
He's the man for that, absolutely.
Yeah. If you don't ask, you don't get. So it's good to ask now. Paul, but I won't ask you for any more money for more courses. But no, joking aside, thank you very much for helping.
Even from LinkedIn as well, if you do need any advice on, as Paul said, raising your profile from LinkedIn, I can certainly help you as well from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
Very happy to.
Yeah. So I look forward to teaching you all. We're starting back in November, Paul.
Is that when it's
That's when it kicks off, yeah.
And is he back in classes, or is it virtual, or what way is it working for
we'll
you?
we'll be back in classes.
Brilliant.
For definite, yeah. But we do have a backup of virtual if we need to go to it. But we'll probably do a combination of both, to be honest with you. We'll probably have some classes and then some virtual, because it's sort of the blended approach works very, very well. But the class is going to be large now. I would say the class size is probably going to be between 18 and 20 industry folks. So you're going to learn not just from myself and Tony and Peggy, but you'll also be learning from other people in the industry, and also making contacts, which are important to keep us, as Paul and Shaunagh were talking about, when you go out into the world of work, because sometimes, or an awful lot of the time, it's not just what you know, but also who you know and who can give you a hand.
On that, Ron, as well, more than happy to come down and guide and CVs and a wee bit of interview advice, have a wee bit of fun as well doing it. You talked about that video. When it comes to, and Shaunagh will tell you this, I can be professional, but I enjoy, I want to enjoy my work, and I want to enjoy. And sometimes I thought to myself, what way is that going to come across? Putting the video up with me, but
it comes across well.
Yeah,
it comes across very well, because I have to say it's memorable, and that's what's important.
Yeah, well, it's important to have fun in whatever you're doing, and that you'll enjoy things more if you're having fun, So
yeah.
Look, thank you very much for joining us today, and I wish every one of you all the best, for going back to CAFRE and for your placements. And again, just to remind you, need anything, shout. I might not have the answer, but I'll certainly get somebody who can answer something for you, and take Shaunagh up on that, because marketing don't really do that much, girls. They don't, so.
No, but seriously, just to close, Paul, on behalf of CAFRE and the class and the girls here, thank you very much for providing the funding. It is really appreciated in seriousness now, and it is going to give
very, very welcome
girls a real opportunity in the world.
Congratulations to you as well, because he's selected, so which is incredible. So congratulations again.
Yeah, you're all very good.
Yeah.